Head over to our contest page and register for your chance money pair of passes to a KFAN exclusive screening of the new Amazon Prime movie Roadhouse, along with the Power Trips Chris Hockey on March 18th. KFAN.com, make the keyword contest for more info and how to enter.
Yeah, Johnny Crease will be there, right?
Where?
Monday at the screening for our Roadhouse movie.
I will be there.
It's going to be great.
With bells on.
Cannot wait.
Looking forward to seeing it. Looking forward to hanging with you guys outside of the studio.
I know.
Are you going, Car?
Got to figure out if I'm taking the kiddo to gymnastics for the week or if Angie is. I don't know. Maybe I should just let Harper go to Roadhouse and I'll go to gymnastics.
Good idea. There's some gymnastics in Roadhouse.
Is that right?
Yeah, sure. Beat the hell out of each other.
Just tell your wife to bring her to gymnastics.
That does seem to be an option.
Yeah.
That could be an option. We'll see.
Or bring the gymnastics to the Roadhouse.
Ooh.
I thought you were going to say burn the gymnastics to the ground.
Are you drinking? I don't know why I would say that.
I know.
I hope they don't
that's
do
insane. Why would somebody want to burn a building down?
That's yeah. That's a thing that you are on right now, aren't you?
Don't worry about what I'm doing.
Or what he's on.
Should we do the news? Let's learn.
Okay,
yeah, let's get informed. Let's
tell
get
us,
more
Hogs,
knowledgeable.
Yeah.
I would like to talk to you guys about the news. Hi.
Hi.
Uber and Lyft both say they will stop operating in the Twin Cities on May 1st after the city council passed an ordinance that give drivers of ride-hailing apps a pay raise. The council voted 10-3 on Thursday to override Mayor Jacob Fry's veto of the ordinance. It would require companies like Uber and Lyft to pay drivers rates equivalent to the city's minimum wage of $15.57. Both companies said they would push for statewide legislation that would counter the city's ordinance. Does anybody know the details on this? And by that I mean, I just read you the details. I don't know what an Uber or Lyft driver normally makes. Does anybody know that stuff?
The details of it, as far as there's a percentage that they get, they don't get a great deal.
That's what I thought.
It would be nice for them to get more money, but unfortunately, that's not the way it works because Uber and Lyft are very important. They're large companies that have a lot of power,
right?
And they'll just leave then. They don't need us. They're going to lose money on this. This is a large market, but they'll pull out, and maybe someone else will start a different model, a better model, but then that's more for the consumer, all of that. So when I say, for one, I think the Minneapolis City Council is the biggest group of absolute idiots that I have ever seen in my entire life. They have no grasp on reality. They were told this was going to happen and they still did it. And then they're going to be shocked that this happened. I can be pissed off that we're in this spot because of those dumbasses. But I also sympathize with the drivers.
Right.
But they were told this was going to happen. And now there is until May 1st. I think the legislature is going to get involved.
I think
because
they'll have to, yeah.
They're going to have to. And now last year, the legislature tried something similar, and Governor Walz vetoed it. And so that shows you, he aligns politically with the city council more than most people would. And he still vetoed that because it's a harm to the state. This is a state that has people travel here for business. How are they going to get around? They're going to take the light rail and get stabbed? No. So, we need Uber and Lyft.
Are there still taxis? I really don't know. I'm asking because I don't know.
I don't remember the last time I saw one.
Not really.
Okay.
Now that there is Uber and Lyft at the airport, the taxis are not doing great here, and they've been reduced by a lot. And this is going to force, and this is why Uber and Lyft didn't say, tomorrow we're pulling out. They're giving it time so the legislature can say, listen, you know what, Minneapolis, what you're doing is affecting the rest of us. So we're gonna undercut this. We're gonna preempt it. And so I'm hopeful and optimistic that there will be an agreement to sort of pull the gun away from the city council, because my God, these idiots. Just dumb.
What kind of percentage gain or drop do we see when a market does not have Uber or Lyft when it comes to drunk driving as well?
That's another point. It would be substantial. I mean, that's and of course, then don't go out and drink if you're going to drive.
Don't
that's
tell
stupid.
me what to do.
That's don't tell me how to live my life. That's stupid. but there are people that are going to do it.
Yeah.
And so we need it. This is a big deal. So hopefully people protect us from those knuckleheads.
I'm going to ask you another question that you might not know the answer to, but thank you for the information you've given me so far. Are there other cities and markets that are having this trouble? Like, why are we are we the only market asking for this?
No, I think Seattle. Seattle, I think was one.
Right.
Austin, but then another company moved in. I just don't think that that's going to work here. Austin is sort of a technology hub.
Yeah.
And so I think there it kind of worked, and it's a lot closer. Our metro area is very spread out, so we need it. And so, yeah.
You know how we talked about Peloton the other day and how there's companies like Echelon, they start naming it so it sounds like Peloton. That's what the company in Austin did. So Uber and Lyft left, and then the company that came in just combined the names of Uber and Lyft. So, like, I downloaded the Luber app when I went to Texas last week and just had the best weekend.
You got lubed up.
Yeah,
well, and sounds like
it was the best.
The other thing, too, is there's other stuff to this. I've been told that this would mandate that Uber pays for their insurance, their repairs, cell phones, like other stuff. These are 1099 contractors.
Right.
These are not employees. And yes, we want them to have a livable wage. We want everyone to have a livable wage. But this is it. Sometimes that isn't possible. And so if the other option is we don't have this service, if it was that terrible, people wouldn't work for them. And so that's it was tried in New York also, and it didn't work there. So hopefully people come to their senses here and undercut these idiots.
I feel that way all the time in Vegas. When my Uber driver has a Tesla that's worth tens of thousands of dollars, I'm like, how did you afford this? And you must be doing all right if you're just driving around in a Tesla doing Uber or Lyft,
and
right?
A lot of times it's not their only job. Usually, they'll be doing something else also.
Sometimes, sure,
because the margins aren't fantastic.
See, that's one of my main questions right there. Like, I wonder how much an Uber driver makes right now.
That's a good question.
Like,
that's a very good question.
If they're not making minimum wage, how much are they making? And how can they live if they're not making minimum wage?
Right, especially if you're doing let's say you're doing an actual kind of workload, 40 to 50 hours a week.
Yeah, right, because not most, but a lot of the Uber drivers I've used, it seems like they do that. That's what they do.
Yeah, not just the whole, I do it when I'm, 2 hours when I'm off my other shift.
Right.
Talking full-time Uber drivers, where this is their absolute number one and only job. I don't know. It's a good question.
And there are when
you can tip too. I always tip.
Oh yeah,
I tip like crazy. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
that's all going to them. Yeah, right. That's all going to them. And so there are people that don't do that. I always do it. Hopefully more people do that, and maybe this will be a way to encourage people to do that more because that's such a needed service. But Uber and Lyft aren't getting that money. The driver is, and so we should do that more. But this is crazy. You're asking a company to It's just, these are people that don't have a grasp on reality that are forcing this onto a company, and they were told that this was going to happen, and they still freaking did it. And if you do it and you want to ruin Minneapolis, go ahead. I don't care. But when it's going to affect the rest of us in the commerce of the state, people flying here for business, that's important. So get your head out of your ass.
Go back to the messaging. We've talked about this so many times over the years. Like if you get a $15 ride, remember we used to debate, are you supposed to tip? Are you not supposed to tip? Because there was always that confusion.
Yeah, initially you weren't.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is because we always asked how much of that money is going to Uber or Lyft, how much is going to the driver. And for years, the message was, well, you don't have to necessarily tip because most of the money is going to the driver. Well, if that isn't the case, right, if Uber and Lyft want to tell us, well, actually, a lot of the burden is on you guys to tip the driver because that money goes to the driver, that's in the messaging of the company. Right, they got to do a better job of saying, hey, if you want to support the drivers themselves, you better not be given a $1 tip. You better be given a significant tip to keep them going.
It says in 2023, drivers earn on average 88% of rider fares each week. But about 15 out of every 100 drivers still earn less than 70% of what riders paid on a given week after external fees. So that's still substantial. And obviously, businesses have to make money. You're paying for a service.
Yep.
It's crazy. Now, the thing that, again, more proof that these people don't think is that They're people with disabilities and people that they can't drive. How do they get around?
Right.
Uber and Lyft. That's how they're getting around. But it makes a good headline, and they can say, hey, look, we're trying to take care of these workers, and these people were cheering when the bill passed. But as of May 1, these people cheered themselves out of a job.
Look, it's going to directly affect the Power Trip Morning Show. If this doesn't get fixed by May 1st, how the hell is Max going to get here?
Yeah, correct.
Great point.
Think
Well
about
played.
that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the big thing, too, is you're not
Say
required
dumbass
to
more.
drive for Uber.
No.
Like, it is it's a voluntary thing. And you'd like to think, because we want the drivers, as you mentioned, to make a livable wage. We want to make more money. And the question is, if they want to, could they not somehow organize and demand that and not drive and force the hand as
have at
opposed to
times.
making, and they have. And then it's been successful in other places. So I just wonder, the government stepping in here and mandating this is just not, I just don't know if it's the right way to go. There's a lot
It's
of people.
not the right
there's a
way to
lot
go.
of people who are going, oh, don't feel bad for Uber. Don't feel bad. Screw them. Screw all those rich people and all
Those
this
are also
stuff.
people who don't think.
But that's the thing. It's all reality. Think about the amount of work it takes to run that stuff in terms of having people for safety purposes at the call 24/7 to help if something goes wrong, if there's a crash, if there's a driver that is being bad.
Yeah.
So it costs a lot of money. There's a lot of costs. But again, I get it. We want them to drive more, but I know there's going to be people who are going to hear this and go, how dare you defend the big corporations? And it's not about that. It's about
Talking
living in
Cookie
reality.
Monster?
Right. And that's the tough part because it's DoorDash, Uber, Lyft. It's a terrible, broken business to begin with because of the cost to do it and how you have to keep it cheap enough for it to be lucrative enough for the consumer.
But don't you have those moments? It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and you would pay anything for a cheeseburger.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And it doesn't even matter how much it is. You just got to have the cheeseburger.
Correct.
That's it.
100%.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you ever see my name come up and I ask you to bring me a cheeseburger at 1 in the morning, you're gonna get $100 tip.
You're good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Run for it. You know what I'm saying?
Literally,
Yes.
Yeah.
don't bike it to him or drive.
Right.
Run it to him
Yeah.
because he'll give you extra
That's
money.
right. I probably ordered from 3 different people too.
Right.
So,
And you'll
I
eat
don't
all
know
of
how
it
to
just
do
to
it
see
real well.
Spread it around.
The winner gets 100.
Yeah, right.
Second place gets 25.
It's a race. That's right.
All right, Mark Parrish is here. Hi, Mark.
Hi guys, how we doing?
Pretty good. And John Creaso, you got to go, buddy.
I gotta go. So if your company would like a positive,
I think the
cheerful,
Minneapolis City
uplifting-
Council would like to
Council would love
talk to
hire
you.
They're on the phone right now.
I'm busy that day. Go
You
to
got to
John
find your own
Creasel.
ride, though.
Yes, johncreasel.com. Put in a request. My wife will reach out to you with the details. johncreasel.com. Let's get it on the calendar. Love you guys. See you next Friday.
You're the best, Grace.
Bye.
All right, Sauce will walk us through sports after this. Big night for the Wild. Parrish can help us with that. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on The Fan.
The Fan.
The Power Trip hits the road to Treasure Island Resort and Casino March 28th and 29th. You can join us in the Parlay Lounge on the 28th from 7 to 9 as we play games for great prizes, including a mock initials game for a trip to Las Vegas. And stick around Friday morning as we broadcast live from TI, host the first initials major of the year and give away another trip to Las Vegas. For more info, head over to KFAN.com and word calendar.
First initials major of 2024. 2 weeks from today at TI. Wow. TI.
Hey
It's
guys,
going to be fun.
It's gonna be fun. Check this out. John Madden, Pat Summerall,
Oh, hell yeah.
1995.
Two of the GOATs.
Dallas versus Oakland. Dallas is leading 31-7. It's the third quarter. I tell you that because it matters. And John Madden completely just leaves Pat Summerall with nothing to say. To the point where Pat says, one of the great comebacks I've ever heard of all time. Listen to this. Oh, by the way, there's a guy on a stand-up jet ski. What would you call those, wave runners?
Yeah, wave runners.
On a wave runner, and the sun's shining, and it's beautiful, and this guy's just hauling balls across the water.
Looks like fun.
Yeah, fun, but the guy got to be at the ball game. How can you be doing that stuff when there's ball being played? What kind of guy says, well, The Cowboys are in town. The Raiders are back. The Raiders and the Cowboys. I think I'll go jet skiing. What kind of guy is that?
Brilliant. That's so good.
Pat Summerall says,
Straight butthead.
Yeah, fun, but the guy got to be at the ball game. How can you be doing that stuff when there's ball being played? What kind of guy says, well, the Cowboys are in town, the Raiders are back, the Raiders and the Cowboys, I think I'll go jet skiing. What kind of guy is that?
Here's Vince Evans.
So good.
Just moves on.
Just snap the ball, snap the ball, snap the ball.
You know what's great about Madden is he believes that, right?
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
why
for
would
sure.
another human being do anything but watch football? It's like, well, how about, I don't know, there's other things we like.
Yeah.
Maybe more than football.
Not John.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
John can't
not John.
imagine a world that jet skiing is better than watching football.
And Pat Summerall, who has a life, he's like,
Yeah.
A guy likes jet skiing? What kind of guy would do that?
That's so good.
It's time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by All Around Property Preservation.
I'm going to load it in so whatever sauce says it, I just go,
Well, you might need it now. The Wild won 2-0 over the Ducks. Bogosian and Kaprizov scored for the Wild. The Wild are 5-1 in their last 6 games. They
5-0-1.
Well, 5-0-1. They trailed the Vegas Golden Knights by 4 points for the final wild card spot after the Knights lost 4-1 to the Flames last night. The Wild battle the Blues in St. Louis tomorrow at 7. Petty.
Yeah, big one, obviously. The 4-pointer, we're neck and neck here with St. Louis right now. Luckily, Vegas has kind of hit a bit of a skid. And they brought them down within reach. But, I think that Zach had a great take earlier on when I was listening. When I just woke up, Zach, yes, I was proud of you, Zach. That was a good take. No, it's a huge win. It just keeps moving on to, hey, we have to win every game or as many games as possible. And, yeah, we're going to need a little bit of help. But right now, the Wild are plugging right along. They're beating the teams that they're supposed to. I like that they're, last night, nobody inside the room will say this, but it wasn't the highest paced game. It wasn't a game that they were too exhausted. And I love the fact that in the third period, they're like, okay, we're up 2-0. We got the lead. And they just kind of slowly, calmly shut it down and played great defense. And with the least amount of work possible, save some rest for these legs for these big games against the Blues, because there's going to be certainly plenty of big, heavy games to move forward here the rest of the year. But yeah, we're going to need them all, and we're going to need a little help too.
Zacho? I like that new feller we got.
Marat Hust
I'll let you
Nadinov.
say his name.
How do you say it?
well, I'll say it one more time.
Marat.
What?
Marat.
Great point. Play some Rat Hawk.
You got it.
Hust Nadinov.
Usnadinov.
There you go. Marat.
I like.
That's a tough one.
He won a couple of face-offs.
Yeah, it's like 6-9. We got a guy that can win faceoffs.
It's crazy, and there was a standing ovation.
I giggled my ass off upstairs when the crowd cheered when he got out that he won a faceoff.
Oh yeah,
Like that's where our standards are, Marat. Just get out here and win a face. No, I was really impressed with that guy, Zach. I mean, how responsible he was very impressive for young Russians. It was very evident that he's been playing in the KHL for the last 4 years. I think since he was 18. He's he set a record. He tied Artemi Panarin's or something for like the 7th fastest youngest, to his point total in the KHL. So he's got some serious upside. He's got a great shot, good speed. But man, it was just so impressive. The little things, the details, kind of like Kaprizov when he came over. It was mind blowing for a guy that paid attention to that many details away from the puck, played defensively, just played the game as well as he did. This Husnadinov, really, he just kind of dipped his toes in last night too. He really didn't. I love that he kept it simple. You can tell he's played pro hockey before. He wasn't a young guy trying to show off or do anything too fancy. He just kind of played the game as simple as can be. Let the game came to him. He blocked some shots. As Zach was saying, he was 6-9 on faceoffs.
Nice.
But just really, really responsible young player. You can tell that he's been playing in the second best league in the world, and now he's got a chance to play in the best league in the world. And I'm looking forward to seeing him and it's to see Kaprizov excited to have a friend is pretty exciting too.
That's hockey, I think.
Here's a question that I've never thought of before. Is there somebody who's like the greatest face-off guy of all time?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Well, I don't know who of all time. That'd be a good one. I know, like Matt Cullen was a spectacular one. Sidney Crosby's right up there. Actually, I don't know why this name, but Joel Otto, an old Minnesota boy, was spectacular. There's a lot of face-off specialists.
Who's the best in wild history?
I would put Cullen up there.
Then let me ask you guys.
Koivu, probably Mikko.
And maybe that makes sense that there'd be somebody who was like that. There's not somebody who's like the best tip-off guy in basketball history, right? Like that doesn't matter.
The more I watch jump balls,
do they keep track of that?
The more I think we should just eliminate the jump ball.
They meat sauce it half the time.
It's just
flip
ridiculous.
A coin for it and give
or just or whoever.
The visiting team gets the ball.
Turn it into football where the road team starts the first half with it, the second half starts with the home team, and let's just move on. And then if there's a tie up in the middle of a game, let's just have a possession arrow. Jump balls are stupid.
Yeah, yes, well said, Corliss.
Because the other team
in the second half. By the way. There's like
no.
The team that loses.
Well, the answer is the tallest guy, right?
Right.
If Rudy Gobert and you had a jump ball, I'm going with Rudy, right? It's just stupid.
And then, so the team that loses the tip-off gets the ball to start the second half?
I have no idea.
They don't do another tip-off to start the second half.
No.
So, yeah.
That's a great question. I never thought of that before either.
I don't know.
So what's the point of the tip-off? Just to decide who gets to score first?
Right.
In a game that's going to finish 140 to 130?
Okay. Only the last 30 seconds matter anyway.
You're mad at your
and
employer
each team
not
gets
calling
18 timeouts.
I'm liking this.
So
Zach,
stupid.
It's just
sometimes,
dumb.
man.
You
tell him.
Call a timeout and advance the ball 3/4 the way down the court.
This is the dumbest thing ever.
I got even more
Hey,
news
look,
that'll
I'm tall.
cheer
I'm
you
going
up.
to put the ball in the hole. Hey, by the way, Wolves tonight at 7 o'clock.
Rosie's guy just teed off Max Homa directly in the woods.
I thought Rosie's guy was Roy.
The store in Maple Grove?
Brilliant.
Or whoever.
Genius. I know that store. That's brilliant.
I love that store.
Wait, what guy was Rosie going to take? Xander, right?
Xander, Roy,
He really liked Rory and Wyndham Clark and Shoffley, but he settled for Holman because he picked last. But he told me he doesn't care if he wins or loses because he's on his honeymoon.
He's still in Turks and Caicos?
Yeah, he's been there for months.
Wow. Is he all right?
By the way, did I tell you guys April 10th through the 13th? I'm going on my honeymoon.
Where are you going?
Vegas.
You're going with us.
You're taking a bunch of friends with you.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
Yeah, it's my honeymoon.
Is it?
Man,
I'm actually going to Vegas April 10th to the 13th as well, separate from the trip, just with a friend. But
yeah,
we just on your honeymoon?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just going.
Are you going to come to the show?
I'm just going. No, gosh, no. I'm going to be staying far away.
Right, but the guy who he's going with is 100% coming to the show because, like me, he loves the attention.
Look, the more I say this in the air, the more unlikely it is. But I would bet so much money Rosie comes on the show. He loves the attention. Of course he's walking over. I don't care if he's staying at Circa.
No,
he'll Uber. Or beg for a free limo or something to get done. Either way, Rosie's not going 2 shows without getting the giant ovation walking into Buffalo Wild Wings.
Of course he'll show up because my dad is going to show up.
Of course. And your dad's going to get an ovation.
Of course, yeah.
And he's not Rosie.
Whoa. Well, he's staying with Hawk, right?
He's not allowed to stay in my room.
I can't wait till your dad walks in. It's going to be great. Walking all funny.
Yeah. I never get it.
Walking funny.
Walking all funny.
Yeah.
My gosh.
He's got a hitch in his get-along.
A hitch in the get-along.
Yep.
What?
You know why.
Yeah.
How?
Hi.
What's the rest of sports?
The Wolves are now 1 game back of Denver and the Thunder as Marnie sits down.
Marnie.
For the number 1 seed because the Thunder beat the Mavs 126-111. The Wolves will battle the Jazz tomorrow in Utah at 8:30.
And then again Monday at 8. A rare back-to-back road trip against the same team.
Yeah, it's I say consecutive games because anytime I say back-to-back, I think it's consecutive days. Right. So consecutive games, 2 games that the Wolves definitely should win, but they're not gimmies. But the team can't afford to stumble and lose to teams that it shouldn't. And the Wolves haven't done that much at all this year. So They're very important games, very winnable games, and a good time to kind of just regroup and carry a little momentum from that huge win on Tuesday over the Clippers. And I sat here on Tuesday, and you asked me, is it over? And I said, it ain't over. And look where we are.
You're right.
It ain't over.
Got to win both of these games.
Yep. So they went. I think they stayed in California, and then
Yes.
eventually, what do they do?
They went to
Great
Disney.
song.
They went to Cars
as
Land.
as a play, like, what do you do to like? I mean, you got nothing to do other than what, practice, and
Well,
then
yeah, but that's. I mean, what do you do in any city?
True.
It's they
Look for
have
hookers?
no.
Not
They
show up for the
they
power
go to
trip.
dinner.
me, I'm sorry.
They go to dinner
Get Raising
and
Cane's to go and then watch Office reruns on Comedy Central in my hotel room.
oh, of course.
LA is one of those towns though that everybody on the team has somebody there, an agent, somebody they're collaborating with for this endorsement or some. I bet a lot of them had those kinds of either business meetings or some sort of dealings or things to catch up on in that side of the world. I would guess in LA.
Right.
Yeah, that's all that ever happens on the road in LA. That's it.
That's it.
No more.
When did we get these spit guards on these mics?
Like
They were not
yesterday,
here on
isn't it?
Tuesday, so
were they here yesterday?
They weren't here
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I think these are new.
fancy.
I don't know.
And they're to stop Rosie from batting it around like a cat toy.
No, it's just going to make it more intriguing to him.
It is kind of fun.
The new toy.
Oh, there he is. Rosie's here.
Guys, I'm going to the bathroom. Tell me when he's done. I'll be right back. Hi, Marnsy.
Oh man.
Hi, Marnes.
Hey.
Hey.
You sound a little bit more awake than I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was working late last night.
I hear you,
yeah.
brother.
Hey,
Man.
what were you eating on social media there,
Yeah, what
Mark?
the hell was
Yeah,
that? Was
what
it
was
a
that?
Philly cheese?
That was a Philly cheesesteak.
That's what I thought.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
yeah. I've become a big fan of the Philly
We
cheesesteak
can
there
tell.
at the and luckily
weren't gonna
enough,
say, but-
luckily enough, it's actually you know what, you guys, it's kind of more they're big Power Trip fans there.
Oh,
And so, like,
I'd
you want
take
some
one.
extra cheese? And I was like, yeah, I'll take some extra cheese. And I threw that on there.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, that's one of those things that's like a man challenge, right? Like, you get a sandwich
Yeah.
like that, you've got to try and eat it with your hands.
Jack loves a man challenge.
I got about half.
Yeah, wants the extra cheese as well.
Oh.
He normally tries to do it without his hands, though.
Yeah, he sure does. He sure does. Yeah.
Where can you find that, Parrot?
The man challenge?
Yeah, Tommy's
that too.
hotel room.
I don't, some main concourse by there's like the not the hockey lodge, the smaller hockey lodge, but there's one of the gates. I don't know that rink very well
the
for being
hockey
able
cabin.
for spending time in there for the last, I don't know, 20 plus years. I don't know Gates all that well. It's at the one end.
Oh,
We'll have to talk more.
yeah.
Gates.
Oh,
Just go to the main
Gates.
concourse and take a left and keep walking till you hit it.
It's on your right.
I'll tell you one thing is for sure. If I had eaten that, it would have been obvious that I'd eaten that because it'd be all over my shirt.
Yeah, I somehow stayed clean. Nikki was very
can't do
impressed
it.
when I got home last
Yeah,
night, and I didn't have any stains on me. I was flat out shocked.
And
That's
with
a
all
win.
that cheese, I'd have it
Oh,
on my
huge
shirt
win.
and in my pants as well.
and that room would be not too good this morning.
It's true. Yeah. That
Oh,
was no
yeah.
doubt,
Poor
yeah.
Perry would have double
Yeah.
pink eye.
He would have been passed out by now.
All right, so here's the deal. Taylor Heise of the PWHL Mark Parrish, the number
Let's
one
go,
overall pick,
Taylor.
should be here very
it's all
shortly.
on you.
The Phenom in the building to take on you guys on initials at 8:15. We'll do Vikings news. We have a couple of new Vikings. More with Marty Gellner, Mark Parrish, and Taylor Heise in a second. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on The Fan.
It's all part of your rock and roll fantasy, Mark Parrish.
Yes, it is.
I think this is a good option for you to come on stage and play and sing. I don't know, man. There's a bunch of them.
I can't wait. I'm actually excited to probably make an ass of myself, but it's going to be a
I can't
whole
wait.
hell of a lot of fun.
It's called Hawk Fest. There's going to be a big deal. It's an outdoor concert festival. Details to come next week. I cannot wait. But so many of you guys are going to be on stage rocking out. I can't wait. I can't remember, Marge.
Is
Are you
that
available?
I told you that I
As long
was
as
very.
yeah,
What?
as long as you were in town or something, right?
Yeah, I couldn't commit to the date yet, but to keep me posted, I was very interested in the event. Is the date you post?
It's a done deal.
It is done deal.
Yes, that date is a done deal. It's
All right.
June 1st, Hawkfest, Summerfield Amphitheater. Big things going on. I will give you full details next week, but part of those big deals will be that the Power Trip All-Stars will be on stage.
Awesome.
Details to follow.
Yeah.
Details to follow.
And a couple of people who said yes, I couldn't believe it. Like Corey.
Yeah, I'm leaning heavily toward. Well, the only thing I might have a conflict with is grad party.
Yeah,
problems.
no, I know, yeah.
But outside of the grad party problem, I don't get. I've been playing guitar for 25 years, and I don't get to do it. So it would be fun.
And this is going to be a big stage.
It would be very cool.
Big
but
stage,
we'll
big
see.
crowd. It's going to be huge. Details to come on Hawkfest. Get your tickets soon.
The grad party might buzzkill, but otherwise, I think that weekend is open unless the grad party happens. Yeah! We'll see.
Rock and
We'll
roll.
see. All right.
All
It's
right.
time to make a new friend. Should we make a new friend?
Yeah, where's Tommy at? He's the icebreaker.
Oh man!
Well, don't worry,
Tommy
Zach
here.
left all his
Zach
stuff.
left a plate and a empty.
That's
Zach!
Yeah,
I got
Taylor
it. I
wants
cleaned
your
it up.
leftover pizza, Zach. Taylor Heise of the PWHL Minnesota squad, the #1 pick in the draft. Mark Parrish, look at this. Just talent, just pure hockey talent right here. Hi, Taylor.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good morning. Nice to meet you.
Good morning. Nice to meet you too.
I'm Corey. That's Marnie. That's Paul. That's
hi.
That's Chris
Hi, hi,
Hockey.
hi.
That's Mark Parrish.
Welcome,
Hi, Taylor.
welcome,
How you
welcome.
doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Did you bring any bunt cake in this
I
morning?
didn't.
Oh,
Sadly.
that looked really good last night.
Is your phone going off?
Yeah, somebody's got
Somebody's
music
calling
playing.
you.
Somebody's
Nope.
got music playing.
No,
I have
it's
my
the
music playing,
TV.
sorry.
Oh,
That's
That's
all right.
TV.
Pump
what
up
was
music.
that? What were you playing?
Some Giveon, I think is Peaches by Justin Bieber, Daniel Caesars, and Giveon.
Got it.
Oh.
Peaches makes sense. When you said Bieber, I'm like, who the hell is Giveon? All right, Bieber song. Gotcha. Okay.
Well, welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show.
Yeah, welcome
Thank
aboard.
you. I appreciate
We're
it.
glad you're here. We're glad we're going to play the initials today. Do you know anything about the game?
Funny story. Me and my dad, he drove me to school every day when I was in high school. I started because I was in high school when I was 12. So we listened to this every single morning for 4 years straight.
Love
Oh
it.
my God.
Wow, that's the best.
Yeah, and War of the Roses, all that. We were dedicated fans of it. So
Got
he
it.
called me yesterday and he's like, for my own mental health, really need you to study up. You really need to do well today. And I was like, out of any interview I've ever done, this man has never once questioned my character on air. And I was sitting there and I'm calling him. I'm like, dude, we're fine. If I get one, I get one. If I get zero, I get zero. But this is just going to be fun for me to be there. So
Amen.
Well, I'll tell you,
Well played.
if you don't do well, we'll have him in next week.
perfect. He would do worse than me. That's the thing. So
I love it. That's the greatest. Very
No,
cool.
we've had a good run of debuts lately. It's fun to have new people in here and see how they do. So
You were in high school at 12?
technically middle school, but yeah, Red Wing. I'm from Lake City, so Red Wing is the only place that had hockey near me. So I open enrolled there starting at the age of 12 because I started playing varsity hockey at 12. So
Oh my gosh. What's the drive time from
28 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And let me tell you,
Not too bad.
Lake City, one of the most beautiful places.
Gorgeous.
I love that place. We played there 2 summers in a row, right down there, right by where all the boats dock,
Yep.
right there. I can't believe how beautiful that little place is.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah, Marnie and I we're going to buy a house there.
It's the best.
Oh, yeah. I didn't
Did
know
you
that.
to move in
but-
together, or just as like a
She's going to
side
put the down
hustle?
payment down for me. Yeah, exactly.
Hawk's laying low for a while.
Yeah, I really love that. Right on Lake Pepin right there. Just a beautiful spot, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we can talk because I know some stories about Lake City.
Oh, good.
History stories that I've read. I'm serious. There's crazy things that have happened on that lake. It's pretty fun.
Oh, boy. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Love to
yeah,
hear.
yeah. So tell me a little bit about your career up to now, before you got here. Tell me about hockey. And are you from a hockey family? Is this something that was in your blood, or were you somebody who just loved it out of nowhere?
Yeah, it just came up very randomly. I'm from a basketball family. Both my parents played at River Falls. Both my brothers play collegiately right now. So not a hockey family by any means. I started in first grade. I got a letter in my backpack, just very random. One of my friend's parents had played in college and wanted to just try it out. And we had an outdoor rink where we didn't have a Zamboni. We didn't have anything. We just had parents to do it, and parents that showed up and people of the city that came and shoveled off the arena for us and started playing outdoors, a little warming hut, very random. Not like someone, I feel like Minnesota people are born and raised hockey, and it is what it is. But super fun. Like I started playing and my parents were like, oh, this is going to be a side thing for sure. Like basketball my dad was my coach. He was like, yeah, we'll just schedule hockey around the basketball practices. It's fine. And then I ended up really, really liking it. And I'm a very independent person. So I feel like that kind of helped me. Like I wanted to kind of do things my own way. But hockey was not in my blood at all. And I guess now I've kind of brought my brothers and my parents into it, but super fun.
How long did you play basketball?
I played basketball probably since I was like 3 until 7th grade, and I had to choose between because I either was going to stay in Lake City and play basketball there, or I was going to open enroll in Red Wing and play hockey.
Tough choice or easy for you?
I want to say tough, but I knew I wanted to play hockey. It was just very fun for me. I love basketball. I still like play it a lot. I have a lot of people in my life who play it, so very fun. But I would definitely say hockey was my passion. I could tell that from an early age. Just hard to like cut it out of your life. You have all your best friends and your parents and your brothers and everyone who plays it. It was hard to make that choice and cut it out.
Where are your brothers playing right now?
My youngest, who's 6'9", plays at the University of Upper Iowa. He's redshirting this year. And then my middle brother, he plays at the University of Northern Iowa right now.
And how tall is he?
He's 6'6", I think.
That's a huge bitch.
6'9".
That's 2 feet taller than hockey.
He's very, very tall.
That's Zdeno Chara right there.
He is of basketball, yes.
Yeah, that's funny. That's the only other hockey guy I've known of that comes from a basketball family. I was very impressed, almost shocked back here when you said that you came from a basketball family. That's a very rare occurrence.
Yes, and I'm like not short, but I am around tall people constantly, so I feel pretty short.
How tall are you?
I'm like 5'10".
Yeah. Wow. I'm not.
You look tall back there. I can't tell. So
I look tall.
Everybody sits down.
Pretty soon.
He's sitting down.
How dare you?
Oh, Corliss.
Almost, yeah. But,
Who did that?
yeah.
Who was the one who said? Was that Dragan Kesic?
No, it was the Viking.
It was
safety for the Vikings.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Josh Metellus thought when you were standing up, he started laughing. He thought you were sitting the whole time. That was a great bit.
Fair. But Parrish, you were a baseball player. That was your favorite
absolutely.
sport.
Baseball. My dad was football, baseball, and he didn't know anything about hockey. Played goalie a couple of years. My grandpa coached, so he had to play goalie a couple of years when they didn't have a goaltender. So he and my dad had to strap him on, but he had no clue. It was great, but I love baseball growing up. So it's funny where it ends up being. That's where Morneau and I became really good buddies because he grew up wanting to be a hockey player, and he ended up being a baseball player. And I grew up wanting to be a baseball player and ended up being a hockey player.
You're both pretty sick, so I guess it ended up being good.
Thank you, Taylor. Long time ago.
So when did you think the PWHL could be what it is? Because you guys are off to a great start, right? The crowds, both in Canada here, specifically in Minneapolis, have been massive. Did you, when you signed up for this, knew this had a chance to be big, or were you just kind of just being optimistic?
Yeah, I feel like it was like, I wouldn't say random, but like it was like a random Tuesday. I like pick up my phone after watching a movie, and I'm like calls, texts, emails, all these things about the new league, and I had no like prior knowledge of it at all. So it was really interesting just to like have it happen and be like, okay, like hopefully going to be a pro hockey player here in the next like 2 months. We really, as a group, didn't want to have too many high expectations. Obviously, like we knew we are a part of a great sport and we're going to be a great league, but you just never know how things are going to follow and catch. But I know Minnesota's a state of hockey. We have great fans, and I knew it was going to be fine, but I don't think we understood that like 14,000 people were going to come to the first game at the Xcel Energy Center and like pack it. Oh, it was awesome. And like my favorite part was skating around in warmups and seeing all the little girls with their signs up against the glass. Cause like that would have been me as a kid. And I would have loved that and, ate it up. I watched the Wild. A lot more basketball came on my TV at home, but either way, like went to Timberwolves games, all those things, like just loved being a fan. And you could tell these little girls now have something to look up to and to actually be like, oh, that's possible. Like, cause I just didn't. And I didn't even know that. I really don't think I knew hockey was in the Olympics until I was like 10, maybe 12.
So what's the biggest road crowd you've had so far for the PWHL?
I would say our team has been a part of one that was like, I think 11. I was out with a shoulder injury for like a month, so I wasn't a part of that one, but I think like 9, 10 probably. And we have a great
where was that?
Arena. I'm trying to think I feel like Montreal was the big one that I wasn't there for. And then, let's see. It was probably in Canada, I would say like that. Ottawa has really good fans. They sell out almost every single time. They have a good arena as well. Ottawa 67s play out of there. I think they've played out of there for a long time. So
you playing downtown?
Yeah.
That's a great building.
Yeah. And it's like
building.
built out, so like the cement, it looks like there's just a cement wall that comes out of the wall, and then there's people sitting underneath it.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
The teams in the PWHL don't have nicknames yet, so you play for Minnesota. Are they asking you players for input? Have you seen like drawings? Are we close?
Thanks, Mike Myers.
Simon.
We have a lot of people that ask that. I feel like for us, there was definitely names that came out, and people did not like them. And I will go on call and say I did not like them either. So I think we had
Such
someone.
as?
It was like Minnesota Superior, which like there was some worse ones, like the New York Sound, which body of water, I guess. Like it just didn't roll off the tongue. People tend to put women's sport categories in things that are just like not things. They're like they're I guess quantifiable things, but not things you can be like, oh, go Sound. Like no one, like why would you say that? Like that just wouldn't be something I wouldn't go out and say that. It's a concept, I guess, more so.
Kind of like the Wild.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unfortunately,
but they have made they've made their brand, and it's been like a long time coming.
So you'd
for them.
like it to be a thing.
you're an animal, a storm.
Yeah, like I don't even mind. Like I love like Bobcats, or not like for Minnesota, but like just something that you can like go off of and. Like
Timberwolves.
Yes, love the Timberwolves.
You want a mascot. You want to be able to have a mascot that's a real thing.
But would you like it to be connected to the state of Minnesota, or would you be in the running for like a rhino or a walrus, something that's it doesn't have to, because who cares?
No, sure. I don't. I really don't care. Since we don't have a name, it doesn't matter to me because
zebra mussels.
Sure.
Go walrus.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
We have been going for the Purple Rain.
I like that.
That's
a great.
might be trademarked.
That's
great.
That might be trademarked.
That's really
that's
good.
Yeah.
And then not
That'd
even like
be awesome.
obviously REIGN, RAIN, like I guess whatever you would like to like go off of.
Right.
But someone said the Valkyries too. It kind of just depends on like what we're going for. But we haven't really been asked about that yet. Or I'm not at the top of the food chain for like age-wise of that. So I'm just kind of living and just
Well, I'm wondering, where is it coming from? Does it come from the team? Does it come from ownership? Does it come from fans?
I think we have a specific person that is like a part of our like the PW organization that is kind of their job. Potentially.
Okay.
Sauce, what would you want it to be?
I would call it the Minnesota Snowstorm.
I don't mind that.
Thank you.
You just made that up just now.
Yes.
You just made it up just now.
Just made
How
it
about
up.
the snowplows?
That's not bad.
Huh?
That's a terrible name.
That's not bad.
Sauce, what else besides the snowstorm? What else would be like a contender?
The Minnesota
You got
Polar
his
bears.
wine.
That's a
What'd you
terrible
say?
name.
Polar bears?
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad. That's what Taylor wanted.
Do
She
we
wanted
have
something
polar bears here?
It's a thing.
We
We
could.
can make a mascot out of that.
at the zoo.
What kind of
terrible
fish? Because people love to fish, like muskies.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
muskie
So
sounds
walleye?
good.
Yeah.
Trout?
Muskie sounds smelly, though. You don't want to be called
Yeah.
the muskie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, it's musky in here.
What about the Minnesota Blizzard?
That or the Mayhem, like one of
Yeah,
like,
Mayhem's
that's
good.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then you can be
that's
sponsored by
The guy from the
insurance
insurance
company.
yes,
Allstate.
sure.
Yeah, Allstate.
That's a terrible name.
Okay. Then you come up with some Brainiac boy.
What about the Minneapolis or
his
Minnesota
nickname, by the way,
Brainiac
Taylor.
boys?
He's,
That'd be
his
not
nickname's
bad.
Brainiac.
That's a real thing. We've been saying for years we need more giant gray mascots in sports, right? Elephants, rhinos, hippos.
for sure.
They're all represented, and I think it's time.
How about serial killers?
That's risky.
Not bad.
Sauce, what serial killer is most connected to the state of Minnesota?
I don't think there is one.
I mean, Cunanan had his moment, right? He went through here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Dahmer ever have a vacation here on the west side of the river?
I don't think so.
I got one that might be offensive.
Oh, dear Lord, I can't wait.
Okay?
Oh, boy.
So please bear with me. I'm not a bad guy. But think about what I'm saying.
Okay.
The Minnesota nannies. After Lou Nanny.
I get where you can see that would be.
That's
That'd be
the
offensive.
Directions. Yes. Yep.
I don't know about a
I'm
women's
glad I took it.
professional sports team being called
See,
the
you stole that from Rosie, though.
I did?
Yeah, because remember last week he said he wanted it to be called the Minnesota Barely Legal Babysitters.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Is that where you got nannies?
Yeah.
That's not,
If
He
we're gonna
did
go with
say
the
that.
nanny name, why
Careful.
not just go with the Minnesota Lose?
but they win too much.
They win too much.
True.
They got Taylor.
The
First pick in the draft.
You know what? Minnesota Miracle.
Yeah, I feel like that's highly trademarked as
Minnesota
well.
Miracles.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we honor women and go with the Minnesota housekeepers?
Marty, that is not cool.
I'm so glad, Marnie, you said that.
Marty,
I'm so you had to say that. You're the only one that could say that.
With your
Rosie texted
That was
her
a submission.
Yeah, from Rosie.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
not a
Yeah,
bad
it
one right
was.
there, the Minnesota submission.
The honeymooners.
Oh, the honeymooners is good. What if we call them the Minnesota Owls, and Owl City, who's from Owatonna, will just play every...
That could be our goal song.
That could be the goal song. He could play in intermissions. I don't think he's doing much.
But he's got
these
so
days.
much to do, though, Cor.
Oh, wow.
What's going on?
Yeah, why is everybody so
Why are
mean
we
now?
piling on Owl City?
Yeah.
What happened,
Oh.
Zach?
Taylor
What did
had
Owl
mentioned,
City do to you, Zach?
Taylor had mentioned rain, R-A-I-N-R-E-I-J. What about the Minnesota Purple Rain?
Yeah, that's
That's what
That's what
That's what she was saying.
said that.
Way to meat sauce it.
Yeah,
Meat sauce.
come on.
You meat
I
sauce
didn't hear
that.
the purple
You
part. I
totally
heard
meat
the
sauce
rain.
that.
And then you spelled it.
What about
Yeah.
the Minnesota
I'm sorry.
Owls?
Fireflies.
That's really sweet.
What about something Stone Arch Bridge related, like the Minnesota Stoners?
Yeah, see, that's good. That's good.
Zach could be there every night.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, let's not pretend.
There's potential
Parrish.
sponsors I can think of.
Spider-Man meme.
I'm sure Creasel wants the team to be named after people who don't move out of the left lane.
Yeah, or the Minnesota.
Oh,
how about the
I'm
Minnesota
with
Minneapolis
Crease on
City
that.
Council? That's what
The zipper merges.
Minneapolis Zipper Merge. All right, Taylor Heise is here of the PWHL Housekeepers, Marty?
And it was a suggestion.
Oh, that was a
from
suggestion. I
from
thought
a
you were
listener.
finalizing that.
M. Rosen.
All right, we'll do Fan 5 when we get back. We have some new Vikings. We'll play initials in about 15 minutes. Taylor makes her debut in that game. It sounds like her dad's super pumped. More of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on The Fan.
The Fan.